Natasha and I co-own Air Education with my twin sister Natalie. So Air Education is an authentic and adaptive education provider which is designed for freelance hairdressers and salon owners to remove anxiety in common stress-provoking areas and services, which will allow them to grow their business without working more hours behind the chair. In this video blog, I am going to share 2 strategies which we teach in our best-selling masterclass, Work Less, Earn More. Now, these are 2 proven strategies which will give, it will provide a sleek, professional and consistent experience for your ideal clients and your potential clients, whilst giving the salon owner or freelance hairdresser more time. So the first framework I'm going to share is the map to more money in less time. This is the key to working less and earning more, and it is in a simple map. This simple customer journey map will remove the time thieves in your business and provide your customers with a high level customer service. When we discovered how to map out our customer journey in our own salon, the results were incredible. We were able to spend more time on the business and less time in the business. We were spending less time having a business that basically ran our lives, and we were able to run the business effectively because we were able to focus on the bigger picture. We had more uninterrupted free time, which meant we could focus our energy on finances, marketing, our short-term and long-term goals, plus even our relationships and hobbies. My sister and I, up to this point, had been salon owners for 10 years. We'd actually worked in the industry for a very, very long time, but we realised that our business simply didn't work without us in it. You know, without us constantly micromanaging, even in our free time. So some examples of this is like the problems that arose when we had time off. You know, it might have just been a weekend off or a day off or even an afternoon off. You know, we were not there to micromanage, you know, the appointments and the admin, and this caused white space, it caused no-shows, it caused incorrect bookings, which had an impact financially. So to give you an example, you know, we realised that our customers expected more of kind of a digital presence. And so if we were taking time off and nobody was looking after that digital presence, this could have been, you know, messages via DM, it could have been emails, it could have been, you know, we had messages coming from Google My Business, the phone, walk-in clients. You know, we had a busy team, but if we weren't there to manage every single kind of appointment that came through, this could have been at 10 o'clock at night, at 2 in the morning, at 9 a.m, you know, at any time of the day, we were finding that customers were booking in for the wrong services. So they may book in for a 3-hour-long service when actually they only need an hour and a half, or they were turning up to appointments and they hadn't had the correct skin test, or they were skipping through and not paying a deposit and then not turning up. You know, basically we're causing unintentional white space, which had financial impacts. You know, what on earth were we doing wrong? We had a busy salon, we had a good reputation. You know, it actually seemed wrong for us to complain about the time thieves in our business, as we were clearly in demand. You know, the time thieves, it seems negative to complain about customers that are contacting you, you know, for problems or questions that they might have. But, you know, it was actually affecting our personal lives, and our personal lives and our business was starting to suffer. Like, really, do any other businesses work like this? Could I DM my, you know, dentist at 2 in the morning and expect an immediate response? No. You know, these customers' expectations, they changed massively. They expected us to have this digital presence and to be on hand 24/7, but we had failed to move with the times, and we were being left behind, you know, when we were trying to enforce boundaries of us having, you know, a day off and expecting to have uninterrupted time. You know, did we really want to continue in a stagnant business which was never growing? So this is when we discovered customer journey mapping. we realised how we could shift our ideal clients and potential clients from like the digital presence into the business, and move them quickly, professionally and consistently using like clever automations. So because we kind of shifted our time, we ended up having more time because we created this kind of automation of digital presence. It meant that we had more time to focus on growth, on our education, on development, on our relationships and hobbies. So I'm going to give you a visual demonstration now of what a customer journey, a mapped out customer journey looks like, and show you the exact strategy that we used to create a better work-life balance. So I'm going to show you now 2 different slides to give you a visual demonstration of what a mapped out customer journey looks like and how you can do this. So let's go into the first slide. So what we're trying to do is get our customers from point A, which is like an awareness level of the business. This is like perhaps a digital presence, to point B. So this is where the customer is, have a long-lasting relationship. They rebook their appointments, they recommend their friends, they write lovely reviews, and they buy retail, like the gold standard of customer. So how do we move them from point A to point B? And obviously we want to do this in the fastest and most efficient route possible. So we don't want to put up any roadblocks, any stop signs, any diversions, anything that's going to either stop them from getting to point B or delay them from getting to point B. So efficiency, consistency is key. So how do we do this? Well, we use what we call digital signposts. So we kind of map out the customer journey and identify areas where the customers might face a roadblock, a hurdle, a pain point, a question. And these are the times where customers would end up either not booking the appointment, having further questions, perhaps even messaging you on DMs, phoning the salon, or even going into another business. So in creating a digital signpost, you're actually helping the customer to make an informed decision and actually make their way into your business efficiently and quickly. These clever automations, you need to use these as signposts to get your customers to the desired destination. So when mapping out, we need to look at where we're spending time and where we're earning money. So for a lot of people, they spend a lot of time at point A, and this is where we're talking about time thieves. So this is responding to DMs at 10 o'clock at night or on a Sunday when the salon's closed. This is responding to emails. This is the time where your customers are expecting that digital presence and you're doing this manually. And obviously the money is earned more at point B. So this is where your customers are regular, repeat customers, they're recommending people, they're buying the retail, they're writing reviews. It's a lovely 4 R's. So what we want to do, creating clever automations and digital signposts, these are going to remove a lot of the time we spend at point A. So we can move our time more and into point B. So it's really important that we kind of have that idea in our head that in creating these automations, we're going to spend more time where the money is and be able to grow the business and be able to give our customers exceptional customer service. So let's have a look at a map. Okay, so this is like a visual demonstration of what a customer journey might look at. Point A is at the top. Now this is a really large area. The reason I've done this is to show you kind of how many people might be at point A. So this is, huge. Point B is obviously, if you can have a look at like the shape of the funnel, point B is a lot smaller because at point A you might have, 10,000 people. These could all be aware of your business. This is the awareness level. They could walk past. They could have friends or family that visit. They could, follow you on social media. They might have come across your services and products on a Google My Business page. But not everybody at point A is your ideal client. Not everybody is suitable for your specific business. You'll have your strengths, your core products, and these will only be suited to certain people who are in the awareness phase of your business. Remember, point B is where the money is, and you want to be serving these customers at point B at the highest level possible. So, how do we kind of channel through our ideal customers from awareness and move them kind of down the map into point B quickly, efficiently, and effectively? Remember, this has multiple points, it's the largest area, and it's our biggest time thief. So you need to gather all of your kind of touch points and make sure that you know every single touch point, whether these are physical touch points or digital touch points, and make sure they're moving your customer into the next part of your business. So this might be having a list of every kind of touch point that you have. It might be your reviews on a review site. It might be your Google My Business page. It might be your website. It could even be an old website that you don't even know. The trick here is to know every single touch point and to be aware of where they are sending your ideal customers. And you want to basically remove any potential stop signs. So the next level is kind of an interest and a semi-commitment. Your customers have read your blog, they've seen your adverts, they've seen your, they've been recommended, they've seen your reviews, they've seen your Instagram posts, they're interested, they want to make that commitment, but they're in a semi-commitment phase right now. So there's quite a few potential stop signs here before they actually get into a commitment phase of the business. The commitment phase is where they've booked an appointment, they've paid the deposit, they've had the skin test. How can we remove potential stop signs here to get them into a semi-commitment? So these are the kind of questions that you might have. It could also be like almost like an interview phase. It's like the first date. And obviously what we don't want to do at the awareness phase is just go straight into book now. We want to kind of warm them up. We want to get to know the audience. We want to get to know these ideal customers, and they will have questions for us as well. Now, this is where there's a lot of time spent. It could be on DMs. It could be, even having a physical, 15-minute or 30-minute consultation, which is completely and utterly free. So it's time where you're spent answering questions, gathering information to be able to commit to that customer's appointment and, manage their expectations. So we need to remove pain points, hurdles, barriers, and we could even add delight. So a very easy way to do this is by creating, the next step into the business. So at this step, this might be where they have questions and you have questions. So how can we gather that professionally, quickly, efficiently? One very clever way to do this is to have an online consultation form. So there's loads of different kind of channels to use and loads of different places where you can create a free online form, and you can have this embedded in all of your touch points at awareness level. And basically, when you're kind of advertising and speaking to your clients, you're not asking them to book now, but you can move them into an online consultation. And here is where you can ask the questions that you need the answers to, and also they can provide you with the information, and they can ask questions as well. So for example, on one consultation form, let's use colour for example, you could ask them to provide pictures of what their hair already looks like. You could ask them to provide a history over the last 3 to 12 months of colour services. You could ask them to provide links to a Pinterest board or pictures to show what they're trying to achieve. You could also ask if they've had a skin test in your salon, if they've got any allergies, if they've got any problems. You can kind of identify all of the potential stop signs, potential pain points, hurdles, barriers that are actually going to slow the customer down or even prevent them from coming in. On this form, you could also have a link to your policies, so your cancellation deposit policy, like this is a place where you get all of the information you need and they get all the information they need. Now, this has not took you any time. This customer can access this form at midnight, at 2 in the morning, whilst you're on holiday, whenever. And they can kind of make that decision if they want to get into a commitment phase. So that form's submitted and it's either emailed to you or, however you've set the form up. So you get that form whilst you're working in your work time. It can be delegated to a team member, an apprentice, an assistant, or you can manage these yourself. So crucially, what's been taken away here is the time that you have spent with people in DMs or actually physically sat in your chair, which isn't generating any money, but it's necessary. It's a necessary step. You've kind of gone through that interview stage, you've got all the information, and now you can make a decision and move the clients into a commitment phase of the business. So this is where, you've got all the information. You now might be, contacting the client with your availability, giving them the booking link, telling them what to book in for. You might even be physically making the booking yourself. But up to this point, everything has been completely automated, from awareness to interest and semi-commitment. Now it's come to making a commitment is when you're spending the time with the customer. They might be paying the deposit, they might be having to come in for the skin test, booking the appointment, but they're making a physical commitment to you. So the next level is the service. Now, obviously, the customer has gone through your channels. She's in having her service, a colour service, hair extensions, facial, whatever that situation might be. But there's more potential stop signs and there's more potential barriers, hurdles, which might drive these customers into basically turning them into time thieves. So what do I mean here? Now, for example, say you have your niche services are hair extensions, and at this point, the customer is definitely going to have more questions. There's going to be more barriers, more hurdles. Now, they're not going to stop her from having the service on the day, but they might stop her from getting to point B. Remember, point B is the 4 R's. Point B is the client who are recommending, who rebooking, who are buying the retail and writing reviews. So we want to remove that potential stop sign, that potential barrier. And this is where you can add delight. So how do we add delight? What are we doing when we add delight? So this is giving the customers high level knowledge, expertise, advice, and giving them this in an automated way. So they don't end up in your DMs at 10 o'clock on a Friday saying, my hair extensions I had done a week ago and this has happened, what do I need to do? Or I had my hair extensions done a week ago, I've now booked a holiday, do I need to have them removed? Like these, you'll know your customers, you'll know the potential hurdles, barriers, pain points that they might face. So it's kind of like preempting what questions they might have, and it's serving them on the highest possible level. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can create what we call a nurture sequence. So somebody who's had a service in your salon, and then you add them into a nurture sequence to give them this extra information. This is going to give them the opportunity to become lifelong committed clients. So how do you create a nurture sequence? There's a number of ways. You might look at creating an email nurture sequence where the customer opts in to a specific email list, and you create an automation of emails which will literally automatically send. And it might be the first email might be, specific to your niche client. Thank you for having your hair extensions. We recommend coming back in within a week or within 2 weeks to have your hair washed and blow dried in the salon. And this is all just kind of examples, and obviously it might not be necessary to your potential clients. Your second email might arrive a day later and it might say, when brushing your hair, it's important to use XYZ, this type of brush. It's important to start at the bottom. It's important to work through any like tangles or matting, with your fingers first, and even do a video or a visual demonstration of this. Your next one might be, when washing your hair, you need to use this shampoo, you need to use this kind of circular motion, you need to use this temperature water. Again, this is information that you will know, that you have expert knowledge in, and you are serving your customers at a high level, but crucially, it's completely and utterly automated. Your customers are being served at a high level, and you might not even be in the business. You might be on holiday, you might be having a day off, but they're getting that vital information, and this is going to, turn them into that point B, that 4 R's gold standard customers. So another way of generating a nurture sequence, if emails is not your thing, you don't collect emails, it's not something you want to do, a very quick and easy way to do is actually record yourself giving the information. Write yourself a script or just record yourself as if you're doing a consultation with a customer, and literally answer the questions that your customer has. And then you can put these videos in a like a channel on YouTube, for example. It's completely and utterly free, and you can direct your customers to subscribe to that specific YouTube channel, and they can get the information that they need. It's there, it's on hand, it's serving them at a high level, it's specific to your service, to your niche, to your expertise, and your customers will be very, very grateful and turn into that gold standard customer where they're rebooking, they're recommending, they're buying retail, and they're leaving an excellent review, which is obviously going to drive more of your ideal client from the awareness phase into a commitment phase and generate more of those point B clients. Remember, when your customer journey is mapped out, it can turn your larger audience into a long-term, highly targeted, high-value customers, attracting and converting your ideal client into your business time and time again. So there is your strategy. So let's just recap on the tactics so that you can quickly implement the strategy to get that work-life balance. Now, remember, you want to be a digital guide. Guide being the key word. If you're taking notes, write down the word guide now. So guide. First letter is G. You want to get all of the touch points. You want to gather all of the touch points, make a list of these. Every single touch point you have, even if they're old ones, old websites, old listings on Google, it could be a current website, it could be your social media, it could be your, could even be your shop window. So you want to gather all of your touch points. U, which is the second letter in the word guide. You want to use the map to implement and problem solve. So in drawing out the map or using our customer journey map tool, you can actually map out the exact journey and implement changes where you need to create clever automations. And then once you've implemented these changes, if any problems arrive or you want to change something, or your skin testing policy changes or your deposit policy changes, or there's something that changes, you can then go back to that map and problem solve. So using that map is a kind of lifelong tool which you can use to implement changes quickly as well as problem solving. The next letter is I. You need to identify those operational and regulatory obstacles which may be slowing down the customers coming into your door or causing unnecessary problems. So for example, regulatory obstacles are normally things that are out of our control, and this is normally from your insurance, it's normally from government. It could be, if you think back to COVID, your customers might have questions like, do I need to wear a mask? Do I need to be double vaccinated? What if I've been in contact with someone? Like, these are the kind of, regulatory problems that could slow down a customer from actually visiting and having a service with you. Also, it could be things like skin testing, like that's a regulatory obstacle. Operational obstacles, you want to think of these as your policies. So your skin testing policy could fall into, your specific salon policies. So it could be cancellation and deposits. It could be, but how you book online, like your operational policies. Next letter is D, delight moments. So these delight moments will inspire a long-lasting relationship. These are the moments that your customer is not expecting. These are the moments when you deliver your expertise at a very, very high level to give your customer that high level experience. So these are the automations which provide extra information, that provide value. These are the delight moments which will ensure that your customer continues a long-lasting relationship with you or your business. And the last letter, E, this stands for evergreen. Now, we strongly recommend that you utilise your evergreen digital resources and touch points to the maximum, because these are going to save you a lot of time. So what is evergreen? So this is something that will be around forever until you delete it. It's a piece of content, information that is there until it's gone, until you decide it's gone. The difference between evergreen and something that's non-evergreen is that the channels that you use which aren't evergreen, you have to repeat and you have to post regularly. So let's give you an example. An evergreen digital resource is blogs, website, Google My Business, places like that. Something that's not evergreen is somewhere like Instagram or Facebook, where you might post some content and after 24 or 48 hours it's gone, it's not relevant, it's actually a little bit hard to find. There's nothing wrong with using social media, but you want to use your evergreen kind of touch points as much as possible. So that's a quick handy recap. Remember, be the guide in your business and you'll be able to map out your customer journey to be able to work less and earn more. So let's move on to framework number 2. So this framework is my personal favourite, and actually it is a simple and free tweak which you can do immediately, which will inspire your audience to take action and actually book that appointment or buy your product. This framework is called Killer Call to Action. So, it's literally the quickest shift you can make in your existing content, and it can be used on all of your platforms, your Facebook, your Instagram, your website, your Google My Business, like all of your touch points. If you're writing captions anywhere, or even, you're creating a website and you have buttons and clicks with call to actions. When I actually discovered how to create a killer call to action, the results were incredible. Previous to this, I was one of the people who'd spend ages. I'd be creating lovely images with beautifully written captions, and then I would scratch my head and wonder why on earth this amazing content wasn't actually converted into a sale. Like, why were people not taking action after seeing the inspiring content that, we were putting out there? What were we doing wrong? We had likes, we had comments on social media, we were getting views on our blog page, we were getting views on our website, all the kind of traffic was there. So I didn't doubt that the content and images weren't good, but why were they not turning into, actual bums on seats and money in the till? How on earth do I move a potential or, existing customer from the post, from the blog, from a digital kind of place, and inspire them to take action, to book an appointment, to actually spend money in my business? So that's where we discovered call to action. A call to action is something I was already doing, but I'll be honest, I wasn't doing it very well. And if I'm honest, even more honest, sometimes I weren't doing it at all. So let me explain what a call to action is. So in very simple terms, the call to action is a marketing term for the piece of text which tells your customer what to do. So a very simple call to action would be book now, or join the mailing list, or comment below, or like the post. Like, it's the point where you tell them what to do. So let me give you an example. I am actually quite embarrassed to admit that at a time when I was trying to attract new customers into the business, I had white space to fill, and I was posting a lot of content which actually had no call to action. So let me give you an example of an actual post. So the post was a beautiful image of a beautiful balayage, you know, long hair. It was well lit. It was, you know, a really nice image. And the post read something along these lines. Here's a beautiful balayage by our stylist, Kim. Kim has used a freehand technique to create pops of honey shades throughout the mid-lengths and ends to create a multi-tonal blended blonde. The end. That was the end. No call to action, no instruction. So I basically put a stop sign in front of my potential customers because I didn't give them directions into my business. I'm also embarrassed to admit to the really bad call to actions. So these aren't the stop signs, these are the road closed signs but giving no diversion. So, you know, the customer gets lost, they don't end up in our business, or if they do by some miracle end up in our business, it's actually taken that person a lot longer to kind of, you know, find a diversion and make a way there, so to speak. So an example of this would be, here's a beautiful balayage, multi-tonal blonde, book now. But then there's a call to action, so the action is to book now. But the mistake is there was nowhere to book on the page. There was no kind of link to book now. Or, you know, it's basically like a road closed sign. So you're telling them what to do, but you're closing the road and there's no diversion and there's no way of actually knowing how to get to the destination. Like, they are probably worse and more frustrating to a customer than having no call to action at all. So when I realised the impact of these calls to actions, I started to kind of experiment with what works. And this is when I discovered how to create killer call to actions, which actually inspire the audience to take action, to book the service, to buy the products, to buy the retail. I spent a long time developing these to inspire my ideal client, to convert them from the digital presence into physical services. And I realised that there is a specific and foolproof method to creating call to actions. So this is what I'm going to show you now. I'm actually going to give you a visual demonstration. So grab a pen and piece of paper and write these notes down. I think you're going to enjoy this. So here is the tactics to create killer call to action. The 3 A's. Action, audience, and answer. So let's look at these in depth. Action. You want to inspire action with strong commands or verbs. So these are probably the call to actions that you're already using. You know, buy, shop, order, sign up, download. But basically, these on their own are not enough. That's where audience and answer comes in. So with your audience, you want to know your audience, including their desires and problems. And with answer, you want to share your solution to the problem or desire to show that you have the solution to their problem. You are the expert. So let me give you an example. The first one is complete the form to discover clear skin. So this ticks every single A. We've got action, complete the form. We've got audience. We've got their kind of desire or pain point, which is clear skin. And we've got the answer, the form. The form will help them to discover their clear skin. So complete the form to discover clear skin. Next, we have an example of sign up to receive 10 hair hacks which create a youthful appearance. So the action is sign up. The audience is the desire or the problem is having a youthful appearance, and the answer is the 10 hair hacks. So this ticks all 3 A's. Now these are perfectly acceptable and obviously inspire action by themselves, and they're much better than book now or fill out the consultation form or sign up to the mailing list. They actually inspire people to take action. But we also have an extra bonus for those who like to go the extra mile. These are the bonus P's, which stand for power and pressure. So let's look into this. Power is by adding words to provoke enthusiasm or emotion, so a power word. And pressure is to give a time pressure or a quantity pressure. Both of these will ensure that your audience or your ideal customer acts quickly and, is ready to buy. So let me show you those two examples which include the two P's. So the first one is complete the quick online form and discover the solutions to your dream skin. So the 3 A's are already there, but we've added a power word, which is dream skin, and we've added the pressure. We've added a time element, a quick online form. Another example, sign up before midnight to receive our 10 hair hacks which create a surgery-free youthful appearance. So the 3 A's are already ticked, but we've added a power word of surgery-free, youthful appearance, and we've added the pressure of signing up before midnight. So it makes a much stronger call to action. It makes a killer call to action. So your 3 A's are absolutely perfectly fine by themselves, but if you can add in bonus P's, this will take your call to action to killer call to action status. Challenge. If you can have a look at previous content and see if you can add your 3 A's and bonus P's into the call to action and see which convert and how well your content does with killer call to actions. So that is killer call to action. Now, if you have a look at lots of different companies, there's loads of examples of killer call to actions, and it is used in all kinds of industries, not just in the hair and beauty industries. If you have a look at companies like Apple, if you have a look at companies like Netflix, these companies have absolutely amazing digital journeys. You don't need to get on the phone to anyone. You don't need to, it is actually quite simple to end up buying a product from a digital journey from these companies. If you have a look at like Netflix, they have just such a simple landing page with just one box to type your email address in, and the call to action is like, ready to watch? Enter your email now and create or restart your membership. Like, it literally ticks every single box. You've got your time, you've got your power, you've got your pressure, you've got your action, your audience, and the answer as well. So if you actually start looking, this is a good challenge, actually start looking at call to actions, you'll see how many actually tick all of the boxes, and you'll start to notice which ones are good and which ones are bad. And the excellent ones are the ones which have the 3 A's and the 2 P's. So that is the end of our second framework. I've really, really enjoyed delivering this content for you today. I hope that you've got a lot of value from this. For those of you who are actually, wanting to have a bit more, this is, what I've given you is an overview of 2 frameworks within our course. The Work Less, Earn More Masterclass is our best-selling masterclass, and we are actually helping salon owners and freelance hairdressers to create that better work-life balance, to implement these clever automations so they're working smarter, not working harder, and they're able to step away from aspects of their business and actually work on the bigger picture stuff, as well as having that, much desired uninterrupted time off. So if you want to be like them and you want to get to that stage and you want to get to that stage quickly, then I can guide you through customer journey mapping. I can get you there a lot faster if you book on the Work Less, Earn More Masterclass. Now, spaces are limited, and we only run this at certain times of the year. So if you're lucky enough to catch this, blog post whilst we have dates available, then make sure you reserve your space, because the spaces are limited. If we don't have a class running, then make sure you register your interest, and you'll be the first to know when we next run the masterclass. So I'll pop another little visual demonstration on how you can find us and how you can book, and how you can connect with us as well. We have an Instagram page, we have a Facebook page, we have also a free Facebook group where you can get tips and tricks on marketing, and I'll put all the details in the visual demonstration next. Well, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Natasha, and you've been watching Education.